Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks defeated the Chicago Bulls 128-120 in overtime last night. Let's check out my 5 takeaways. Number 1, the Knicks win their 5th straight, and they are 6th in the Eastern Conference. Yes, a half game above the Indiana Pacers, who were in the 7th seed, a half game below the Philadelphia 76ers. But the Knicks will have chances in the coming weeks to gain some ground on Philadelphia and to create more separation between themselves and Indiana as long as things stay the same. The Knicks play the Chicago Bulls tomorrow night. If they win, which is going to be tough to do, but if they win, they can create more separation between that 6th seed and the 11th seed. And then they play the Indiana Pacers in Indiana. And if they win that game, they can create more separation between the 6th seed and the 7th seed, which is very important in today's NBA, because if you're in that 6th seed, you're automatically in the playoffs. If you're in that 7 through 10 seed, you got to fight through the play-in. And then on Christmas, ladies and gentlemen, they play the Philadelphia 76ers, and if everything is the same and they can beat the 76ers, they can gain some ground on Philadelphia. So, the Knicks are in a very good spot. 6-4 in the last 10. They had the longest winning streak in the Eastern Conference, the second longest winning streak in the entire NBA. 7-7 at home, 8-6 on the road. The Knicks are playing good basketball, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hope that they can continue to play this type of basketball. Next, the Knicks win a close, tight game. They close out a tight game. They haven't done that. Not this season. They had a tight win versus Portland. They lost. Milwaukee, they lost. Memphis, they lost twice against Memphis. They've struggled in these tight games, but ladies and gentlemen, they closed one out last night. Albeit a team that struggled themselves to close out tight games. I don't care. They got one. It's good practice. You need the practice doing it. I wasn't exactly thrilled with the way that they closed out the fourth quarter. Okay, the style of play. They went to Julius Randle time and time again with Alex Caruso on his back, and it really wasn't working. But they didn't switch it up. I think one time it was successful when Randle, through traffic, kicked it out to Quentin Grimes for 3. I'd like to see that change. We'll talk about that when we get later on in this video. The last play of regulation, some people were a little upset about it. I wasn't upset about the play itself, but Tony Crow and I both agreed the ball should have been in Brunson's hands instead of Randle's. But it was the right play. You don't want the ball with 24 seconds on the clock and you have a chance to take the last second shot, popping around with the chance that the Bulls get their hands on the ball or the Knicks travel or there's an offensive foul or whatever. Get the ball in one person's hands, let the clock run out, take the last shot. The Knicks did that. They missed it. It goes into overtime. In overtime, the Knicks switch it up a little bit. Now, Julius Randle was a little bit more of a decoy while Jalen Brunson went to work, and he was successful. And no play bigger than the crossover that sent Alex Caruso sliding across the floor while Jalen Brunson knocks down a 3 to seal the victory for the New York Knicks. So they close out a tight game, ladies and gentlemen. During this stretch, Julius Randle was on a tear, playing very, very good basketball. The type of basketball, ladies and gentlemen, that can lead the Knicks to some good things. Over the stretch, Julius Randle's averaging 28.6 points per game, 10.8 rebounds, 4.2 assists. He's shooting 43.9% from the field and 36.2% from the three-point line. He's also shooting 87% from the free throw line. Julius Randle, ladies and gentlemen, is playing smooth basketball, I think, in my opinion. His shot is a little more fluent. He's got better touch on his shot. And I feel like he's taking better shots right now. He's avoiding traffic as much as he can. When he goes to the basket, he's not playing around taking 3, 4, 5, 6 dribbles. He's going straight to the cup. Bam. He's playing good basketball. 2.2 turnovers for Julius Randle. He normally averages around 3.3, and he's doing it in 35 minutes per game. The Knicks need this Julius Randle to show up throughout the remainder of the season. And excuse me if I stutter over myself. I'm doing this live, no editing, ladies and gentlemen. So Julius Randle is on a tear. And folks, Quentin Grimes, he's getting in shape. That's my next takeaway. I don't even want to say getting in shape. The young man is in shape. All right, Quentin Grimes is playing good basketball for the Knicks as well. Over the last 5 games, he's averaging 11.8 points per game, 5.4 rebounds, 1.8 assists. He's shooting 48.8% from the field. He's shooting 42.3% from 3. When Quentin Grimes first came back from injury, he wasn't shooting the 3 all that well. He was struggling. Didn't have his legs under him. Now his legs are there and he's knocking it down. And the Knicks, who have struggled all season long hitting the 3, this is critical. And he's shooting 85.7% from the free throw line. He's shown some ability to create for others. When Quentin Grimes gets the ball, he doesn't waste dribbles. He doesn't waste time. He strikes. And when he strikes, it causes urgency for the defense, and he's able to find somebody, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, whoever, under the basket. And then, of course, he plays defense, ladies and gentlemen. His defense has been critical because the Knicks struggled for a lot of this season defending the wing position. And here's why you have Quentin Grimes. And then now, Tom Thibodeau has inserted Deuce into that lineup, which is helping to solidify the perimeter defense. So kudos, man, to Quentin Grimes for playing good basketball over the last 5 games and even more. And then lastly, ladies and gentlemen, but not least, the Knicks have got to make adjustments for Game 2 versus the Bulls. Now, when I say adjustments, I don't mean you just make changes and don't do what you did in the first game. I don't mean that at all. But you got to make a few adjustments. Number one, if the game gets tight down the stretch, I really don't want to see the ball going to Julius Randle with Alex Caruso on him at the foul line. If you're going to do that, get Julius Randle sealed off under the basket. Do that switch under the basket. We seen in overtime when they switched under the basket, there was nothing at all that Alex Caruso could do with Julius Randle besides foul. But when they're out on the perimeter, Alex Caruso gets up underneath Julius Randle, and then Randle's afraid he's going to pick up an offensive foul. You know, he can't really get into his game. Alex Caruso is a really good defender. So if you're going to do that switch, do it closer to the basket where Julius Randle can seal him off and go straight up with the ball. Also, the Knicks shot 53% from the three-point line last night. I don't think the Knicks are going to shoot that well again. Maybe they will. Maybe they're just hot right now. But if not, I don't want to see the Knicks just jack them up because they were hot the last game. You got to recognize when they're going in and when they're not going in and then change your strategy. Last night, the Knicks played a lot of isolation ball. Julius Randle at the elbow. It worked because Julius Randle was knocking down shots. And when they kicked it out, guys were knocking down threes. So it worked last night. If it's not working against Chicago, then you got to go back to ball movement, man movement, and making the Chicago's defense move. The Chicago Bulls came into last night's game with the 7th best defense in the in the NBA. So they can play defense. And if the Knicks aren't hitting shots, and then they're also stagnant, that can be trouble. So the Knicks have got to, I think, get more ball movement in the next game against Chicago. Do what you did. Get Julius Randle the ball at the mid-post. See if he can dominate the way he did last night. But do it through ball movement. Get a couple of movements in there, boom, 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 then find them. That way you keep the defense guessing just a little bit. The Knicks have got to keep DeMar DeRozan off the line. DeMar DeRozan was 16 for 17 from the free throw line in the first game. You got to keep him off the line. If DeMar DeRozan gets to the line, it could be trouble for the Knicks. The issue is, it's tough not to foul him. It's tough. I think the matchups will remain the same, so it's going to be R.J. Barrett's assignment. He's got to use his feet. He can't come down within his plane, within the landing plane. Contest the shot. Don't touch his elbows. Don't touch his hands. Right? Which, it's tough because DeMar DeRozan has great footwork and he can knock down those mid-range shots. Be careful of Vucevic. I think the Bulls recognized last night that Vucevic could go to work against Mitchell Robinson as well as Hartenstein. And if I'm the Bulls, when I see Hartenstein in the game, I'm bringing in Vucevic because Hartenstein was not playing good defense last night. And I'm not confident it's going to change in game 2 versus the Bulls. So the Knicks have to be careful about Vucevic. It's going to be hard to double down on him because you got Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan out there on the perimeter. So Mitchell Robinson's got to play straight up, use his length to contest the shots, and not foul because you need Mitchell Robinson in the game. Quentin Grimes guarding Zach LaVine. There was a point in time when Quentin Grimes had to go out the game because of foul trouble, and it proved to be significant. When Zach LaVine started knocking down some shots, as soon as Quentin Grimes came back, it became a little bit more difficult for Zach LaVine. We need Quentin Grimes to be out there on the floor. Because he's 6'5", Zach LaVine is about 6'5". When you bring in Emmanuel quickly, if Quentin Grimes has to go out due to foul trouble, now you got a 6'2" guy, whatever, 6'2", 6'3", playing against Zach LaVine, who's 6'5". And we know Zach LaVine can also elevate. Just some things to think about going into game 2, ladies and gentlemen, Friday night at 8 p.m. Anyway, the New York Knicks on a 5-game win streak. They're playing good basketball. Looking forward to the next game against Chicago tomorrow night. Make sure you join me on the game preview, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, the post-game show as well. I thank you for your time. Whatever thoughts you have, make sure you drop them in the comments section. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When send past the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Knick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.